This is the WASD and Beyond podcast. And welcome back to the WASD and Beyond podcast. This is your wonderful host coming at you with another fantastic episode today. And join with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host.
Social Distancing 101, Nick here. How's it going?
Oh, I'm just looking at your cats. I'm getting sidetracked.
Don't get sidetracked. They're cute, though. They're cool.
They are cute. They're really cute. So, I mean, we don't really have much to talk about since, it's only been like, 2 or 3 days since the last recording that we did.
Yeah, but it's cool, though, that we're getting on the ball with our recording sessions.
Yeah, it's not last minute every time.
Yeah.
We actually are getting it done earlier in the week for once.
It feels great.
We actually have time to, edit the audio and work on it a little bit.
And work on other special projects we're working on right now.
Yeah, get
which
some
I'm
stuff
excited
in the
for.
works. Hopefully it turns out cool. We'll have to see.
From what you've shown me, it looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks really fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I guess let's just start jumping straight into it with your daily news segment. Well, your weekly news segment, I should say.
You don't want to talk about what's happening through these last 2 days?
I have nothing going on.
I have nothing going on except for quarantine.
Okay. Yeah,
except for this quarantine, which is driving me up a fucking wall.
Literally, the only thing I've had going on the last 2 days is I can't apply for unemployment because
That's ridiculous.
The website is constantly down.
Yep.
And I have to wait like every other day to try to do it. So I get to try again tomorrow because I tried yesterday. Probably going to be the exact same scenario. And then other than that, the only thing that's been going on with me is just trying to get my Valorant fucking beta account fixed.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're still dealing with that dumb shit.
It finally just got resolved today.
Oh, really?
It's been over a week, but yeah.
Okay.
So I got my Valorant beta drop the first day that they did it, and now
you're a lucky bitch like that. But you got punished.
I wasn't lucky. I was smart. I was like, hey, they announced what is happening. I'm gonna tune into it, and then I got rewarded for being punctual,
for being vigilant.
So I got my drop on the 3rd. It was like the first day that the content creators from the closed alpha were able to like showcase their content to their streams and everyone. And then it was the 7th is when everyone was able to start playing it. But my account has been region locked to Russia for whatever reason. I have no fucking idea why.
Which again, to keep on with the last joke we told in the last episode, you're paying with marble money.
Yeah, exactly. So... But finally, after a couple of days, Riot got back to me and they're like, hey, we need to reset your account in order to fix it, but you're going to lose all your progress. And I'm like,
what the fuck ever? I don't give a shit.
I don't fucking
It's a beta.
Care. Right. I've played like 4 games because turns out playing a team game where you can't communicate with your team, not as fun as you might think.
I'd assume not. No.
So,
it's not fun.
Yeah. Even when I was playing with our buddy
Julian and Evan.
Yeah. I've only gotten to play with Evan, but when I was playing with Evan, even though the 2 of us were in Discord, I still couldn't talk to the other 3 guys on our team. So it was like, what's the fucking point? If one of them relays information, Evan then has to relay it to me, and then just, yeah. So I'm happy it's all fixed. Now that it is fixed, I plan to dump a whole bunch of hours into Valorant.
I plan on playing tonight after this podcast, so we can play together tonight.
Oh, I'm so down to stream some Valorant after this.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a bit of news for me. I got my God Emperor Trump bucks.
Lucky, I'm waiting still.
It's like a bittersweet thing because I don't want to get too political on the podcast. It's not my place to do that. I don't want to take the money he's giving simply because it's coming from him. Well, it's not really coming from him. You know what I'm saying, though. But give me $1,200. Yeah. Give me $1,200.
Give me the money.
Which I got. So my bank account was like wow, look at that.
Yep.
I was like, you hungry? You want some more money? I feed you. So that was cool. You know, right before the podcast, I was having a cigarette and I looked down at my phone. I was like, deposit. I ain't got no money.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
not working.
yeah, I'm not working. And boom, I see that, and my cat is cleaning her asshole on.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
That's
Just
good.
let her do her thing. Let her do
Thank
her
you,
thing.
Siri. Good shit, dude. Fucking yeah, no, that was cool. I was stoked to see that money. It's gonna go a long way. So
Hmm.
that's pretty much what's going on this week. Is I got that $1,200 from the overlord Trump, and I said I didn't want to get political, but obviously I've just now stated what side I'm on, and it's not his. Like I didn't want to get political, but I did inadvertently. But
It's okay.
yeah, so that's my week. But to get in some gaming news, which I thought was cool, so I was browsing on Twitter, and the Crisis account tweeted again. And that's the first time they tweeted since 2016,
Yeah.
and they've tweeted now yesterday and today.
Hmm.
So are we getting?
So
So are we getting a remake, or are we getting Crisis 4?
if we get a remake, I'm gonna be real fucking upset
For
because
what? It'll be fun regardless.
okay, yes, one, it's gonna be fun regardless. Two, um, I don't know if you know this, but Crisis One graphics still fucking hold up today. So
Crisis, yeah, absolutely I do.
like we don't need a Crisis remaster when it's already good looking, right? Like
So
fix the
what?
mechanics, do a remaster, like do a remake,
Yeah,
fix the broken mechanics if you're going to do that. Or
yeah.
hear me out, give us a sequel. Give us
Just
a
do
4.
4. Just do 4.
Yeah.
Because really, in my opinion, what Crisis games serve to be are just tech demos
Hmm.
with story,
Yeah.
which is great because Crisis games are inherently very fun to play. If you have a PC, playing Crisis on console, that's not worth it.
Hmm.
But if you have PC, it's very fun to play these Crisis games. But that leads me to my next question. I have a very good Ryzen system. I have a 1080 Ti. Do I now need to upgrade my shit to play Crisis? Because I've been looking to upgrade anyways, and these Trump bucks tip my account.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do
don't
it. I
say
already
that.
see where you're going with this. Don't you fucking do it.
My computer's fine as is. I have a very, very well built computer.
Coming
Um,
from the guy who just said you wanted to upgrade.
listen, I could stand to go for the next Ryzen generation because they keep getting better. It's a pain in the fucking ass when they just keep dropping Ryzen fucking chips, but because they're better and better each time. But I could stand to jump to a new graphics card. I will say
Why?
better FPS.
You don't play games anymore.
Yes, I do. I'm still a gamer. I do. I play Animal Crossing. No, I do still play. It's
I
proven
know.
difficult with Landon. You
Well,
know,
yeah,
because
you got a lot on your plate because it's not just taking care of the child. Like it's also managing your relationship and helping
absolutely,
Carrie out. And
it's making sure she's happy as well. You know,
right,
but
it's
that's not
not
what the podcast is about. So we could talk about that at another time. My
after the
relationship is fine,
recording.
by the way. My relationship is fine. My fiance is great, and my baby is awesome. And I can't wait to build his first computer with him. Which
That'll
I'm
be
teaching him
fun.
when he's 5. I've already established. As soon as he turns
No, no, no,
5,
no, no. Yeah, no, no. You get him started young and early. That motherfucker in 20 years can be the next Shroud.
exactly,
No, you get him started now while this
exactly.
business is still booming.
I've made the joke before, and I'm going to make it again. I'm going to literally Michael Jackson dad him, or,
Yeah, you're
or
gonna.
Tiger Woods. I'm just going to tape a keyboard and mouse to his hands.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so until you get fucking 5.0 KD, you can't untape these to your hands.
Until you reach until you reach DMG and CS:GO, you can't finish your homework. It's like
Yeah,
what?
you're not going to school today. You got
You
tryouts.
got practice. Yeah, you got tryouts today.
Back to Crisis. That was a big
That was a
sidetrack.
big, yeah, that was a very
It
very
was fun though.
far-reaching veer.
It's fun though. No, I'm very excited to see this Crisis news and that they've tweeted because that
Yeah.
We just got fucking Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Cyberpunk is coming down the pipeline,
Final Fantasy VII Remake just
which
came out a couple days
I've
ago.
heard it's fantastic.
If you're into
Um,
those games, yeah.
so like to give us a Crisis now too, dude. 2020
I'm
sucks, but 2020 is great for video games.
For gamers, this year is lit because it's like we don't have to do anything different than what we've already been doing,
No,
and now
no,
we're getting applauded for it. So go us. Um, but no, Crisis has always been cool. I've played them. They're fun. You know, nothing.
yeah.
They're nothing crazy. They're not a 10 out of 10 video game. But
Graphic graphic
I
wise,
I
it's 10 out of 10.
right.
Always.
I miss the days of, you know, like one upping each other. Like, oh yeah, well my computer can play Crisis on 67 frames per second, and your friends like, you got 67? What? Like,
Yeah, now you're lucky to be like, my shit's running at 100 frames.
yeah.
So how's that feel? It's like mine's running at 200. It's like fuck. It's like
So
goddamn.
I miss that, but at the same time, I don't want Crisis 4 to come out and then find out that my $2,000 gaming rig can't run it and I have to upgrade because I'm gonna shoot myself. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Though that's what I'm. Mine's like my computer now with all the money I've invested into it is around 2 grand as well.
mhm.
Um, so to have to upgrade again, it's just such a pain in the ass. But I know the components to upgrade. Definitely for a game like Crisis, you want more, especially you want more RAM and very good CPU.
Mhm.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Crisis is very CPU heavy.
I don't
So
remember. I mean, it has
I
been a while since they came out,
yeah
so it could have been more CPU dependent, whereas now you may be able to manage the files
yeah
better to where it's more GPU intensive.
right.
So,
So I mean, if you're into the 20 series, you're looking pretty good for Crisis
mhm,
4, I would say.
right.
Um,
Uh, One thing that I do want to touch on real quick is so Crisis has always been, like you were saying, more of like an extended tech demo, right?
yeah,
Here's some
yeah,
cool shit that you guys could be doing that you're not. Like, now go and start using it. I am interested if they are going to release or do some sort of project on Crisis.
yeah,
Um, I would like to see what they can actually do with ray tracing because ray
absolutely.
tracing has not really shown too much in terms of like what it's capable of doing. Only a select few games have it,
And the
and
games that do have it aren't really that like impressive, anyways.
mhm.
Like
Like
Doom Eternal,
you
can
can
you do
have.
ray tracing on Doom Eternal?
I don't know.
That would be a game I'd be interested. I know you can do it on Doom 2016, I believe, but Doom Eternal would be a very good game to see ray tracing with,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
it could. I mean, I don't know. I feel like ray tracing is better for a game where you have more of like an open, sunny like environment, right? It's very fieldsy. You have a lot of light rays coming down from the sky, sort of cinematic. Like you want to enhance that. You want to make that look even better. That's where
Tarkov
your
would
ray
look
trace.
really, really good with ray tracing.
It could if it ran better than a potato. Uh,
Yeah, Tarkov's not. And we love Tarkov, by the way.
this is my
I
favorite fucking
barely play
game.
Tarkov, and I love Tarkov. But yeah, it's, I think Crisis is what Half Life is for physics, right? So Crisis
Right.
is graphically what Half Life does for physics. It always pushes the boundaries. So
And tries to
when a
be
Crisis
innovative.
game comes out, it's like fuck. There's a new standard. We
Yeah.
have to get there. And yeah, I think if Crisis 4 comes out, I think it will be heavy on ray tracing. I think they will push the envelope.
I
They
would
have
hope
to.
so.
They
Yeah,
have to.
they have to make a mark. They have to showcase that they can still make a good game that can push boundaries and limits and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
with how quickly technology is advancing and rapidly, like, I mean, soon enough, there's going to be another thing after ray tracing, right? There's going to be another new awesome technology, and even if it's not until at that point, I would expect them to be those guys that would want to push the envelope and make it just that much better, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what you'd hope for with a game like Crisis.
Hmm. So
Absolutely. That's what you want. I mean, yeah, dude. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
dude.
very excited to see what. Yeah, dude. That's an inside Discord server joke. I'm very excited to see what Crisis what they're doing with, especially with the Crytek engine.
Hmm.
I, please, because that's it. There's a game series that I do enjoy. It's called Serious Sam.
I remember. I know of Serious Sam. I never really
S-
played any of them, but
They're very fun. They're very fun shooters. I believe Serious Sam is on the Crytek engine, the newer
is it?
ones.
Oh, okay.
I'm not too sure, and I'm sure somebody's going to be like, "Well, actually, no, it's not," and I'll be like, "Well, actually, fuck you." Um, if Serious Sam 4 or the newest one comes out on the Crytek engine, that'll be sick because the Crytek engine always pushes shit to their boundaries, just like how like back in the day we thought the Frostbite engine did, because
Oh yeah,
it does, but that Crytek engine is just it's always something when they're like, hey, this is the new iteration. It's always fucking something, and I'm excited to see what it is. I'm
yeah.
excited to see what they're gonna keep tweeting. Even if it's a fucking action figure, please, I'll buy I'll buy a Crisis action figure. Like,
That could be kind of sweet. Yeah, put that in your collection.
uh, looking back at my fucking collection, I don't have any more room on my shelf, but I need to buy
I,
more shelves.
exactly. Get bigger shelves.
My bookshelf is littered with new books. My record shelf is fucking bowing again, and my action figure shelf is just like littered. And I have more shit on the way here. It's not good. Everything is fucking like 50% off during this epidemic. So I've just
I
been
mean,
buying.
you can't beat a good fucking deal,
No, okay, really quick to sidetrack one more time.
as always.
So Alex Party is one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
His books are 50% off right now.
Yeah.
Had to. Don't give a
Yeah. I
fuck.
mean, that's
Had to.
fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Signed by him.
Oh, even signed. Very
Yeah,
nice.
dude. So that's a bit of news for Crisis, and that's not a turd. Now the game we're going to talk about now is a bit of a turd, right? So Fallout 76,
Oh,
Wastelanders. Um,
did you try it?
no, but I did reinstall Fallout 76, and those who do listen to the podcast are gonna fucking scream blasphemy at me because we just bash it in almost every episode. I am gonna try it. I am, because that adds story to the game. So potentially I'll be able to actually play a Fallout game with
Yeah.
story and depth, potentially. So Fallout Wastelanders, for those who don't know, is adding NPC to Fallout 76 because they realized, oh, an open world with no fucking NPCs, bad idea.
Are you sure? I think gamers are gonna love it. It's what they wanted.
It's
Everyone wanted a PvP Fallout game.
th- that would be fine if it was done right, but it was done like shit. And stop.
We're not getting back into this.
So Fallout Wastelanders again. I'm gonna try it. It's dropped, I believe. Yeah, it's out,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try it out. I have the game installed. I'll update it and play it with our buddy Elliot on our Discord. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I have no. I have no ambition that's gonna be great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's worth a try. It's worth a shot because I'm gonna try it, and if it sucks, you'll know in the next episode it sucks.
I
Like if
promise
it's
you,
just,
if you stream it, I will watch you while you're playing it,
I'll
so
stream
I
it.
can endure the suffering with you. Right?
I'll stream it for sure, dude.
I'm not playing. I'm not
Absolutely.
paying $40 to play it with you, though. No.
No,
Nope.
I
Nope.
bought it on day one because I had high hopes,
Yeah.
and then
And I don't know why, but you did.
they circumcised me pretty much.
Weird comparison, but sure, that works.
Yes. That's all I want to say about that. Now, it's not gaming news, but it's movie news. And there's a very good sci-fi book, and it's one of the best in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinions actually. Dune. So Dune had a movie back 90s, 80s. I'm not too sure when that first Dune iteration of the books came out, movie
Hmm.
wise,
Okay.
but it's being remade right now for today's audience with like high budget, all that.
Cool. Okay.
and they released some still photos of it, and it looks stellar. Like if you look at these photos, you'd be like, "Holy fuck!" It looks cool. And for those who don't know, Dune is a sci-fi book. Fuck, I haven't read it in so long. It's like dystopian future type of shit on a different planet, I believe. I'm not sure. I haven't read Dune in a long, long time, so I'd have to reread it to really give you a rundown on it. And I would enjoy talking about Dune on a future episode of the podcast, maybe for a Beyond episode. Um, but it's just there's the books are very long, so I don't know when Matt and I will actually get to that. Um,
I don't read, so
there's Audible. Don't be a dickhead. You can just listen to reading. Like you can listen to
you
books.
can listen to reading. I like it.
Um, but no, I'm very excited for the Dune movie to come out, and from the stills I see, it does look good. It looks casted really well. Um, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna have to reread the books to give proper knowledge on the
Hmm.
subject. The Dune universe is so huge with lore. It is fucking massive. Like you think 40K is massive? Dune is massive. There's so fucking much. That's where I get my God Emperor jokes from. When I call Trump God Emperor Trump, that's from Dune. God
Okay.
Emperor Dune. Shit like that. Like that's where I get those jokes from. Um, Dune is huge with lore. So, um, which I suppose leads us into our topic for today's episode.
I think it does.
Movies based on video games, which I actually fucked Matt up really bad with my verbiage.
He said video games based on movies, not movies based on video games. Guess who spent a couple of days researching the wrong topic?
But this is an easy topic. It's an easy topic to talk about because we've all seen these movies that we were very excited for that
It just,
usually flop.
yeah, it comes down to just a simple like, how did you fuck that up?
With the source,
How? You
let's
have
start.
source material. Just go off of that,
Let's
right?
start. Let's start from the beginning. Not the beginning, but a movie that people pretty much started out with video game movies. The Super Mario Brothers movie.
That is not what I would say most people started out with, but we'll continue.
What
I
do you
have
think?
never seen that movie still in my entire
You've
life.
never seen? How the fuck, dude?
Why do I want to watch that? Have you seen the
You've watched The
Goombas?
Room.
Have you seen the Goombas?
You've watched
Okay?
The Room.
It is completely inaccurate. They're 6 feet tall with tiny heads.
It's
Why would I
you.
watch that?
It's you in a movie.
Yeah, why do I don't want to watch that. Especially if I didn't even get paid. They're using my likeness. I should be able to sue them.
So Super Mario, you're such a piece of shit. So Super Mario Brothers was I would say one of the first video game movies to really come out,
Hmm.
and it
Definitely.
had stellar advertisement. It was supposed to be the big thing, and it came out. And everyone's like, "What the fuck was that?" Like the I
It is a movie by about a video game where the people making the movie, none of them have played the video game.
That's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels.
Oh, always. That's how it feels with like every single video game movie, right? Like, okay, video game movies fucking bother me, right? Because there's so much potential. You take a popular video game that is well known, right? And you can go two ways with it. You can do it as a fucking front to back exact copy, right? With
Yeah.
a little bit of liberty, to make things interesting, right? But for the most part, you covered the exact same thing,
Yep.
and people will be like, "Yeah, it was good. I mean, it followed the exact same storyline. There was no real like veering from the path, but for the most part, it was still like, you went into it expecting that and you got it."
So pretty much like
Or
a Watchmen type thing,
right, exactly.
page
You
for
have it
page.
page for page,
Yeah.
right? Which this is okay. I mean, I watched the
It's
Watchmen
playing it
movie,
safe. It's playing it safe.
right? Or you can do what most people, I would say, I can't say most people. I am amongst the mindset that more people would agree with me because you want to see a video game movie expand upon the lore, right? You want to see it dive into the things that it wasn't touched on in the game. You want to be able to skip past those boring parts that you have to go through and grind and travel across the map or whatever. You want to have another outlet that deepens the lore, deepens your experience for the game while still making it feel like, hey, this is that game, but now it's a fucking movie. No one does that. They just fuck it up. I don't get it.
And if they do try to expand on the universe, it's usually in a way that's so disrespectful to that universe,
Hmm.
where it's like none of like creating something is great, but when you create something that's the polar opposite of what it should be, that's wrong. Every fucking
Right.
time. That's fucking wrong. And like, okay, for example, I would love to see a Halo movie actually done. There's been shorts and all that, and they've been pretty decent. And there was like a weird Halo movie that came out where it was like a bunch of mixed animations.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a movie.
I would love to see a Halo movie based on the Halo novels, though,
Okay.
because they're very close to the video game. But like, I would like to see John Spartan 117 explored.
Hmm.
He's explored in the video games to a degree, but I want to see him abducted as a child. I want to see that moment. I want to see him trained as a Spartan soldier. I want to see that progression, and I like that. But I just don't think that they're willing to play it that unsafe because people want to see, well, a Halo movie. They want to see fucking Master Chief just fucking slaughter, right? So I think they're afraid. It's almost like a Half-Life 3 syndrome where it's like you want to make this thing, but if you make it and don't succeed in the way the fans like it, where does that leave you? Like you're
Hmm.
fucked, right? Like that kills your career. But like explore those options. Playing it too safe is why we have these video game movies that suck. Super Mario didn't play it safe, but it certainly didn't fucking give a shit about the source material.
No, it didn't. It didn't enrich the lore of that game universe whatsoever.
No. Care about your source material. That's the thing. You have a wealth of fucking source material. That's like making a Dark Souls movie and just fucking making it about one guy who's able just to traverse through an entire fucking landscape and be fine.
Hmm.
There needs to be death in that fucking movie. Your main character needs to die and
That's
fight his way back to his body
right.
type shit. Like there's so much you can do with these video games to enrich the fucking story and add more lore, but you play it too fucking safe, or you
Hmm.
go bonkers with it, like a person like Uwe Boll, who made Postal and Far Cry, and I think Blood Rain, and those movies are like, what the fuck, dude? Why leave the Postal the movie? No one needs that. No one needs the video games.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Postal 4 still, by the way, and fuck those developers. I don't care. Um,
Still on that.
I'm still on that. It's just it's where is Hollywood not connecting the dots with video game movies? People want video game movies.
Yeah.
People want them for sure. But how are you not connecting the dots on these
Hmm.
movies to video
I
games? It's not hard.
to use your example of Dark Souls, I could see that actually being like a cool movie, right?
It could, or an animated series.
Right. Some sort of animated picture to tell a story to either enrich, deepen the lore, your understanding of the world, of the universe, or, you know, to connect more with the characters, right? Understand more about them. As you were saying, the way that they do it's sort of like making a Dark Souls movie, but the main protagonist is Superman, right?
Exactly. It's like One Punch
Like,
Man.
right, it's like that completely misses the mark as to what you want, right? Because there's plenty of movies that you could easily like take off of that. It's that Groundhog Day effect, right? Where like you die and you restart the day or whatever, right? Except you can easily do that in a Dark Souls style movie, right? Like you die and you're like, oh, that was a weird fucking dream, and then you start traversing, you're back at the same spot, and you're like, wait a minute, that's my dead body, and then there's the monster that I dreamt
Exactly.
killed me,
How cool would
and
that be in a movie?
right, and then he comes to realize that, like, okay, I can't. Every time I die, I'm just gonna restart. I have to fucking fight and kill this thing, right? You know,
Exactly. How fucking cool would that be?
it's not that hard to think of, and then you just write a competent story with a relevant story arc in that. Like,
That enriches the lore.
yeah,
But instead, we get movies like fucking Rampage. No, thank you. What the fuck was that? With The Rock?
Doom with The
Doom.
Rock.
Oh my. Both Dooms, in my opinion. Both Doom
um,
movies. Annihilation and Doom 1. You get the
and
Hitman movies.
yeah, which okay,
How hard is that? How hard is a fucking Hitman movie?
it's not, and they still fuck it up
Agent
constantly.
47 is fleshed out for you. He's easy. Get a fucking bald asshole with a fucking barcode on the back of his head. Guess what? Dude, what
Yeah,
the? He's a fucking hitman. Make Don't put love interest in the fucking movie. I don't,
thank you.
he has like, dude, what the fuck, man? It's
They did that twice. They did it twice, and they
twice.
made it the same mistake twice.
And guess what? The actor in the first movie, Timothy Oliphant, I believe,
Mhm.
I loved him as 47.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a fucking fantastic job as 47. So
But
why did you
the
ruin
writer,
that character in that movie? And I will say this to talk about to counteract. Let's give a decent example. The first Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie, I liked that.
yeah, it
It
wasn't too
felt
bad. It was
yeah,
it was a bit Hollywood, a little overproduced. It didn't add too much to it, but as far as the writing, it was pretty on par. As far as the story was pretty on par. The casting, literally, you think of Laura Croft and you think of Angelina Jolie. I was like, yeah,
absolutely,
this makes 1,000% like this makes sense.
absolutely. And as a fucking like, I think I was 12. Of course, I want to watch that movie.
Oh yeah,
Of course. And like, how are these movies not? I'm getting so mad during this
yeah.
episode already. It was decent at best, right? Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie, Tomb Raider 1 was decent. Then it started going downhill. And then the
Mhm.
current adaptation of Tomb Raider was shite. Like
I
why?
haven't
Like
even
the actress looked like the current Laura Croft.
right, like the younger redone version, more
Yeah.
modernized.
Pretty much the non-sexualized version of Laura Croft,
Right,
which
where
is
she doesn't
fine.
have the big triangle titties. Yeah.
Right, we don't need those anyways. Which is
our
fine.
our interests have grown past that.
I've just heard it was I didn't waste my time with it and I'm not going to. So I can't say if it's good or bad, but I've heard it's not that great.
Hmm.
But then we get movies like Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg, which was fucking garbage, and we get Prince
Yeah.
of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal, which is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Max Payne is easy. Cop loses family, right? His family
Wants
is
revenge.
killed, wants revenge. Cop has drug addiction problems.
No,
Easy fucking movie.
we're gonna take that and we're gonna end it. We're gonna add in a semi pseudo love like relationship that never goes anywhere. So you're just like, when is this gonna happen? And then it never happens. So you're like, okay, now I'm kind of disappointed because I was expecting that to happen. And then we're also gonna add in this completely unknown drug that makes no sense or anything like that. And now like you're just
Well, it felt. Have you seen Max Payne?
fucking, of course I've seen Max Payne. I was so
Okay, did it
excited. I
not
was like,
feel?
I was okay. When I saw that, I was like, Mark fucking Wahlberg is the perfect Max Payne. He looks
He would have
the
been.
part.
He would have been.
Yeah. I'm like, he looks the part. He's actually a pretty decent actor if he is directed well. I mean, you can
Yeah.
you can compare between like The Happening and literally any other movie that he's done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's just like it's just such a bummer because they could have done so much better with it. It could have been,
It's easy source material.
yeah,
That's easy. That is a fucking easy movie. And if you make it gritty, feel real, and show him fucking ODing, show him taking too many pills, and like really like being out trying to shoot somebody all fucked up,
hmm
where he thinks he has bullet time, that would have been perfect.
yeah.
would have been perfect. Instead, they tried making it look like a Sin City ripoff because it did have a weird Sin City feel to it.
Oh, it definitely did. And
And I
then
was
they
like, what the fuck is
basically
this?
they just gave him a drug that only works for him and makes him invincible, which
Stupid.
yeah.
Stupid. And I, I don't want this entire episode to be like, hey, everything movies suck. Like, all video game movies suck. Because they certainly don't.
No, there's actually been quite a few good ones, especially in recent years. It feels like Hollywood is kind of starting to get the
Sonic
picture.
the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog, I have not watched it,
I haven't
but
either, but I know people I know who've seen it loved it.
yeah, no, everyone's talking about how great it is. And literally that is I didn't expect it to be a bad movie. I expected it to be a bad movie because it had such an initial terrible character design for Sonic,
The
right?
remake, the redo, I do enjoy though. I do
Oh
like.
yeah, no, 1,000 times better. And then like immediately when I first saw it, I was like, it could be a good movie if you fix this. And then they fixed it, and it turns out, hey, guess what? It's a good fucking movie.
It's
And then
fun.
on top of that, you have evil Jim Carrey. That's all you need.
Eggman, perfect.
He's an evil Ace Ventura, and like, yes, please,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
But additionally, like, there's Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I actually
Was a
just
great one.
watched. I watched it. Whoops, sorry guys. I watched it 2 nights ago with Perry. We loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
The ending made me cry. Sorry, it did. I cried. That's fine. It was a fantastic movie. Detective
Mhm.
Pikachu fucking ruled. Loved it. Loved everything about it.
But then you turn around and you have the '90s Mortal Kombat movies.
Time out. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there, cocksucker. Time out. Mortal Kombat 1, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That movie fucking rules. It still rips. That entire movie was badass.
Hey, I'm right there with you, okay? I literally, Mortal Kombat, the first and second one, I watched those repeatedly. I know
Blockbuster,
I
baby.
was
Blockbuster.
yes,
Annihilation sucked, though.
for
That's okay.
yes, I did. Of course, you don't know that when you're like 7. You're like, oh, this is awesome. Look at them fucking punching each other. It's awesome. Yeah.
Every time at Blockbuster, get Mortal Kombat again. Nick, you got that last week. Shut up, Mom. Doing it
Oh
again.
yeah. No, that was my routine. We had a family video next to our house that my family would go to once a week, and every week I would get Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and then something new to watch.
Yep. I loved Johnny. I loved all the characters portrayed in this film. All of them.
They all did a pretty damn good job. Like,
dude, they looked great. Liu Kang looked like Liu Kang. Sub-Zero and Scorpion looked fan-fucking-tastic. Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade. Oh my fucking god, Kano. That makeup Kano had in the movie, perfect. And then Goro. The special effects for Goro were the lips. Unfortunately, for the animatronic, did not look great.
I mean, you're talking this is 90s technology though, right? Like that movie came out in like early 90s.
Yeah, but you also can't really give it that because there were movies like The Thing that came out pre-90s, and The Thing, it's just bigger budget. It all comes down to money. But
always, yeah.
Mortal Kombat was in my opinion. I love that. It was great. I love that movie. And then a stinker like Annihilation comes out, and it's like, why?
See this main hero that everyone loves and adores? We're gonna kill him in the first 10 minutes. How do you guys feel about that? Then we're gonna bring in 2 completely irrelevant characters that no one likes or even wants to deal with.
I didn't give a fuck about any of those characters. And they tried putting all the characters in it, all of them. And I was like, dude, stop. I don't need all of them.
I don't remember if it's from the first Mortal Kombat or if it's from Annihilation, but I just have to say hats off to the scene where Shao Kahn becomes a fucking CGI dragon, because
I think it's the first one.
That was some real bad shit where you're just like, wow, that looks horrible.
So did Riptile. When Riptile's like he looks like the fucking monster from Monsters Inc. Riptile's in Mortal Kombat 1, and he's like kind of skulking around and like being a reptile guy. He like forms. I'm like, it looks like the bad guy from Monsters Inc. 1.
Yeah.
Randall. He looks like a Randall. I liked Mortal Kombat. The second one sucked, but then the cool thing with Mortal Kombat, we'll stay on that, and we'll kind of veer off into TV series just for a moment. They had their YouTube like miniseries, and I liked that. And then Mortal Kombat also had a animated series.
Did they?
Yes,
I
yes,
did not
which
know
was
that.
very bad. But there's actually a new Mortal Kombat anime series that just came out. I think it focused on Scorpion and Sub Zero. I'm not sure, but there's
That'd
a
be
lot of
sweet.
that. Um, so no, yeah, that was actually good that you brought up Mortal Kombat because I liked the first Mortal Kombat a lot. And then from Mortal Kombat, for me, I remember seeing Doom, obviously with The Rock, and that shattered my world because
Because you
that came
wanted a
out around
good,
the same time as Doom 3, I believe. Huh?
because you wanted a good Doom movie and you didn't
How
get it.
hard is that? How fucking hard is a Doom movie? Space Marine stuck on Mars. Everyone's dead but him. Get
Even
off
if he
Mars.
has a couple buddies, sure, I can deal with it.
Guess
Him
what?
having
Kill them
two other friends.
off violently.
Right. Make him have
V-
to watch because he couldn't help, or they just do like nothing, right? And he just has to like continually protect them. They're
yeah.
fucking a nuisance to him.
Yep. How hard is
There you
that?
go.
A Doom movie. How hard?
Is literally, here's a guy, here's a bunch of cool looking fucking demon shit,
Demons.
and he go and kill them in really cool ways.
And guess what the
That's
end? Guess what the
that's
end of your
all we
movie is?
need.
Guess what the end of your movie is? Doom guy in a fucking escape pod on his way to fucking Earth. Halfway before the end of the movie, he's in space hovering above Earth. Earth is fucking on fire, pretty much. You can see the continents pretty much on fire, invaded by hell. Boom, you got a sequel. They're going, here's your movie and here's your money.
Mhm.
And Hollywood's going, oh yeah, but we could also do this. Boom, you just burn all your money. But now I think video games are being taken serious though.
They finally are. It
They're,
feels like.
so we're no longer getting movies like Alone in the Dark,
Oh god.
which is
I've
already
never even
which
saw that, but
it's not good. It's not good.
it
Which
is
it
literally
was
the lowest rated video game movie on
it's
Rotten Tomatoes.
it's not good. Alone in the Dark is bad. And it was already a bad video game series in my opinion. It was decent at best, but no,
But
Alone in
how
the Dark
could
is
it
way
go
better.
wrong when you spend a bunch of money on someone like Christian Slater and Tara Reid? Like, how do you go wrong with that? That makes up for how bad all of the writing and everything else is, right?
No. It
Okay.
doesn't. It was
Okay.
all bad.
Okay. My
It
bad.
was
My
all
bad.
fucking
My bad.
bad.
I'll just show myself out then. Apparently, I'm fucking wrong.
What I will say, let's go back to good, right? I will say Resident Evil 1 and 2 were good movies.
That's debatable.
Let's agree on the
I
first one. Let's agree on the first one. No, you didn't like either. Okay, let's talk about that.
It's been a while, so I can't really say too much about them, but I do remember watching them when I was younger and just have never cared for. I played a couple of the early Resident Evil games, right?
Right.
I never finished them because I was like 6, 7 playing on like the PlayStation 1 type of shit.
Yeah.
Um, but I
Those
played
controls are
I
awful.
played most of Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching the movie when it came out onto DVD because my family was cheap. When we were younger, we never went to the movies, right? We just
Yeah.
waited the 6 months or whatever for it to come out on DVD, and then we
That's a
would rent
fucking
it.
bummer.
It is. We would. So it was, but then when we really, really, really wanted to see something, like we would do like a family group trip out. So like when you did
Okay.
get to go out,
Yeah.
it was really cool. But like 99% of the time, they're just like, no, we're not going to the movies to see that. You can wait 3 months, and I'm like,
My mom would
I
drop
don't
me off.
want to wait 3 months.
My mom would literally put me in a car, be like, "What movie you want to see tonight?" I'd be like, I probably was like 12. Like, I want to see this one, this one, this one. She's like, "Here's $50, I guess. Don't come home until it's done." I was like, "Cool." And I would literally walk home. I lived really close to the movie theater, and
Yeah.
I've loved movies. My mom knows that, so I'd always go see every movie I wanted to see. But
Mhm.
so Resident Evil 3 though,
Um, yeah, I just remember watching it and just the plot, the characters, none of it really seemed to line up or make any sense. None of it really
it
seemed to
doesn't.
give me any feeling of like urgency that they're in trouble, right? Because it's constantly this like, oh, they're gonna get out of it somehow, you know. Um, and then additionally, like I said, I just Wasn't a big fan of the writing, the characters, anything that movie tried to set up. It just kind of flopped hard for me, and then it got just worse and worse for subsequent movies until eventually it became its own fucking demon because they
Yeah.
just completely ignored source material after like the second or third movie.
Well, a new one's coming out soon, I heard.
Hooray! Because
Either a new
we
one
need
or it's
more
like
of those
it's a
dumpsters.
revamp. Either new or revamp, but I mean, whatever.
Either way, I don't. We don't fucking need it. You've
No, we
been doing
don't.
the whole Resident Evil thing for the last like what 15 years in the cinema. Like you don't need to reboot it. Give it if you're gonna do it, just get a different series.
I can agree with that.
Don't just take the same the bad movies and then redo them so they're still bad but updated. Like no.
There's a lot of video games that could be fucking made in movies, I think. And before we go
Oh,
into there, I do want to continue talking about before we get there because there's actually this is a deep episode in my opinion. So before we get to like the movies that could be and yada yada yada, I will say I want to continue on the movies that do exist
mhm.
and movies like Assassin's Creed. How do you miss that mark again? How do you miss that mark? How the Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, that source material is gold.
Yeah,
It
those were
is
actually pretty decent games.
fucking gold. It Desmond is a great fucking character to delve into. Like you hook yourself up to a machine to go through your family lineage to figure out that your family is all assassins, a part of like this guild.
Yeah.
How fucking cool in a movie sense is that? So like he wakes up, you pull him out of the fucking I forget what it's called. You pull him out
The
of the
Matrix.
machine. It's the Animus or some shit like that. You pull him out of the machine, and he's like fucking. He pretty much the Matrix, and he's sick as shit, vomiting. Dude, like show all of that, and then go right back in. All right, we got to hook you back in. Sorry, we got to figure out more of the puzzle. That's
Mhm.
sick as fuck. How do you fuck that up? It's not. You're again, and again. Your source material is in front of you. It's right there for you to grab, and you just shoot it away because you want to write something different.
Yep.
Why? There's no point.
Look at
Like,
one of your favorite movies, Dragon Ball Evolution.
yikes. And I heard your favorite
Yeah.
movie is Avatar: Last Airbender.
That one's not based off a video game. You fucking leave that alone, all right? Don't you fucking talk about that.
Dragon Ball's based off an anime as well, you turd.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Fuck you. Nice
Okay.
try. You tried to hurt my
Okay.
feelings.
Yeah, okay. All
I
right.
hurt yours
You know
back.
what? You backed me into a corner here. I can't really do much about it. So just okay. Just
As
leave it
Gary
be.
Bunda would say, what am I supposed to do?
Let's stop with these low blows, all right? Let's keep it manly. Let's keep it above the belt, all right?
You're right. You're right. The next one I want to talk about then is Warcraft.
I never actually saw that.
I heard mixed reviews. So I've watched it here and there. Uh, from what I could see, and we're gonna have to talk to our buddy Nick about this, but it looked decent. From what I saw of it too, it looked really nice. It was
Mhm.
nice on the eyes. Um. So yeah, that's a movie where I see it's a 50-50 split. A movie like Warcraft is a 50-50 split. People
Yeah.
hated it or people loved it.
Right. So the problem I never saw Warcraft, so I don't know what issues there are with the movie. But I can say that to make a movie about World of Warcraft or that universe, it is a challenge in itself because there is so much lore along with that you can't just group everything and put it together, right? You have to you have to pick and choose what storylines you're going to include, how much of them you're going to include, other things like that. And that
Right.
can actually make it difficult because there's so many different options you don't know which one to go with. So I can understand a movie like that not quite hitting the mark.
Right. And people either loving it or hating it. But I
Mhm.
could see a series like World of Warcraft or just Warcraft in general being a great series.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Because there's
Make it
so
an
much you can do. And then you could make Splinter series. There's so much you could do with a series like that. And this isn't really a video game. Well, it is 40K. Why
Yes.
has there not been a good 40K series?
There's been awesome fan made ones.
Yeah, but the actual 40K shit made is
Mhm.
trash.
Yeah.
Don't give me an animated piece of bullshit. You can make with how much money you make off our money, which I got my 40K models right behind me. I don't even want to know how much money I spent on those motherfuckers. But with how much money you've made off us, you can make a good live action series.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
Especially with how far CGI has come now. Because you
Oh,
look at something
dude.
like you look at Avengers Endgame. The scene where they're all walking in their the red and white suits.
Yep.
Those suits, everything from neck down is completely CG and
And
no
it looks
one
great.
fucking knew, right?
No, yeah.
So tell me that you can't make a CG 8-man tall space marine and you can't just make one really detailed one and then duplicate it a bunch of times and now you got a
Exactly.
massive 40K battle,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
The technology is there to where even if you didn't want to do it all practical, which I would prefer,
I
I would
prefer to see Necrons
yeah,
practical. That'd be fucking
right.
sick.
I want to see my death
Chaos.
I want to see my Death Watch boys. I want to see them in their full glory, fucking with
Oh god, we've
practical
opened up a
guns and everything.
Pandora.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you had the technology where even if you don't want to do it practical, you are more than capable of doing it in CGI, right? Because
Absolutely.
we're pretty much accustomed now to so many movies being entirely CGI with just voice acting.
Yep.
Like
Which
that is a massive thing now where like you're almost eliminating like 90% of filmmaking sets because
which
everything can just be done in CGI now.
which for me sucks because I watch movies like I'll go back to The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mhm.
There's so much of that movie you look at and be like, wow, is that CGI? Like I showed it to somebody. They're like, wow, that's a really good CGI. I'm like,
That's
that's
nuts.
puppets, buddy.
Yeah.
That's all practical. That's puppets. That's how it was. Like, holy fuck. I'm like, dude, that's what movies still could be, right?
Yeah.
So like
You
you
look at
could do it and still make it look great, but for a movie like 40K or whatever video game movie, if it behooves you to use CGI, use CGI. Use the money. Because again, you are given this grand source material for these movies
Mhm.
that will make you money if you follow it. It's literally a money tree in front of you.
Yeah.
You have for 40K, because this is a video game series as well. We could talk about this. There is a massive community for 40K that will go see the movie regardless if it tanks.
Oh yeah.
Regardless.
No, you have your
They'll kill
diehards.
you on the yeah.
You have your 40K diehards just like you have your Star Wars diehards. You have your
Yep.
Star Trek diehards. You know, like you have that audience that like doesn't care. They love it 10 out of 10, never even seen it, you know?
Exactly. And they'll fucking Metacritic bomb it to hell and back for you. If you just make it right.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong, they'll still fucking try to back you up.
Or they will in fact let you know that
Or
you
they'll let you know,
really
like,
fucked up. Yeah.
oh yeah, especially for
Yeah.
40K, I think. Like, if you fuck up something in 40K, they'll be like, well, actually, the armor on Carl Franz is
Yeah,
kind of fucked up.
actually.
And we're 40K dorks.
Yeah.
Like, I love 40K. I have this. I have a lot of money sunk into it. Um,
I
there's
don't even want to go into how much I have. I have a fucking
you have a lot more money than. Oh yeah.
In all fairness,
Anyways,
I was working at a hobby shop that I got an
I
employee
wish I still
discount
had you as a
on
connect. I wish I
I
still had a
got
connect.
I got a discount on my Warhammer model, so I fucking just like, take my money.
I wish I
Uh,
still had that connect, dude. I miss building. That's what.
we can talk about
Yeah, we'll talk about 40K after this.
I still know I got some secrets, don't worry.
I know you do. I know. To keep this episode rolling though, I would like to say that there are again still we've talked about good movies, and I will say that I remember as a child, shit, I must have been like 10 or 11, I think. But there was a Tekken animated movie that I
Oh yeah,
saw.
yeah, I remember that.
It came. I saw it on Sci-Fi for the first time, edited, edited, and I loved it. And then I was like, "Hey, Nini," which is my grandma. I was like, "Can we go to Blockbuster and look for this movie?" I get Tekken on VHS. I pop it into the VHS player, which for those out there who don't know what a VHS player, big black box go into little black little black box go into big black box. You get the picture. That's pretty much it.
And if it doesn't work, you have to spin it around a lot.
Yeah. But I remember watching Tekken on VHS. I was like, whoa, dude. It felt because to see Tekken animated was great. Because that does that series perfect. Because you get to portray people like Yoshimitsu or King and like Hayachi Mishima and all them as animated characters. You can make them zany and crazy. But when you try to convert that into live action, which they did, not so good.
Hmm.
Not so good. But the Tekken animated series was movie, not series, was great. I loved that. That was an example of a good video game adaptation, in my opinion. In my opinion, I feel like I have to preface that with every fucking
Yeah.
thing we talk about because it's like these movies are so split down the middle. Either people love it or people fucking hate it. And again, I feel like it's Super Mario that started all of this that made Hollywood feel like it's okay to let everyone down. So we're gonna go back to Super Mario before we go into these other shit that I want to talk about. If Super Mario did not come out, I don't think video game movies would be as bad as they are now. I feel like Super Mario made it okay because it still did fine, I think. People still talk about it to this day.
Well, they talk about it to this day in the same sense that they talk about The
So it
Room
still
today.
gets its money though. That's the problem.
It does, but it's not for being a good
No,
product.
no, absolutely not.
It is
Absolutely not.
getting its money out of mockery,
Yeah.
which is something that film companies, I would imagine, should try to avoid.
I would hope so.
Um, but you never know because you get fucking stinker after stinker in every fucking move, like every cinema you ever go to.
Two last movies I want to talk about.
Okay.
Two last movies before we go into TV series that I want to get into a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Rain. Did you see Blood Rain? That's another
Never even
Uwe
heard of
Boll
it.
movie. Another. Did you play the Blood Rain video games?
No,
Okay. Do you know what they are?
no.
Vampire, big tits, jiggle, 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 boob physics.
You have my attention.
Exactly. So Blood Rain is a game I played when I was younger, obviously, because again, vampire, female, big tits, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Sort of like playing like what is it?
DOA, Dead or Alive.
Yeah,
Yeah, which that got a movie too, and that was terrible. You can say any game, it's like that got a movie. It was really bad.
pretty much.
Blood Rain was made by Uwe Boll, who is a fucking stinker of a fucking director. He did Postal and Far Cry. That tells you what he's done.
Far Cry has a movie.
Yes, not good. But
I don't imagine so.
he also did that movie that we liked. Fuck. It's not a video game. It's the one where the guy loses his fucking mind and he shoots up the entire town. And he makes
Rampage,
it.
or it was not Rampage. It was.
It is Rampage. It's
Oh
Rampage.
yeah. Okay.
It's Rampage. I like
That
that
was
movie.
that was a good movie. It had
It was,
it was a slightly disturbing concept, but it was a good movie and
but
well
it felt
written.
real. It
Yeah, it
felt
was
fucking real.
well written, well acted.
Yeah,
Good sense of
Rampage was good,
pacing.
but Blood Rain was not good. That movie,
Old Rampage was good. New video game Rampage not good.
not good, not good. The movie where the guy literally shoots up and kills everybody is good.
The movie with Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Johnson and
probably
Monkey,
isn't good because it has
Lizard,
Dwayne the
and
Rock
Wolf,
Johnson.
not good.
Yeah.
Yes. Blood Rain, again, for those who don't know what Blood Rain is about a female vampire named Blood Rain. And that's it. That's the movie. Tits, jiggle,
Stellar
jiggle,
movie.
jiggle. That's what he played on. And that sucks. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, that's not fun. It's like, okay, cool. 12-year-old me is interested. 28-year-old me is like,
I got
great.
Pornhub. I don't care about your fucking bouncing tits.
I got my fiance. I'm good. I'll go upstairs.
Well, yeah, I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, no,
I'm
yeah,
not-
yeah. So I'll go upstairs. I'm good. It just felt like it felt shameless for that actress, and I felt it's like she's we don't have to get into it. It just felt like it was like an expletive film to
Hmm.
be like,
Expletive.
yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Like, Blood Rain was a badass female character in the video games. Like, again, yeah, they played on her sexuality, and that's fine. But like, she was a badass character. Like, she
Right.
fucked shit up and still was like sexy about it, and that's fucking fine. But the way he shows it is so like sex, 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 and that's lame. You missed the mark.
Yeah.
You missed the mark. And it's a bummer for fans, like I feel. And if you're a 12-year-old boy, you don't know any better. You're like, oh, cool, boobs and vampire and blood and this and that. And you're like, all right, cool. So Uwe Boll literally is a turd in the punch bowl when it comes to video game movies. Again, he's
Turd
done
in the punch bowl.
Postal. We got a turd in the punch bowl. You got Postal on his fucking belt. You've got Blood Rain. You got Far Cry, and none of them
In
are
the
any good.
Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, also by Uwe Boll.
He's
I don't even know what that is, but that is
don't do. He's a
okay.
butthole
Hold on. I have a list here
of
pulled
movies
up
by
right
him.
now. 43 video game movies ranked worst to best, right?
Okay,
I just
yeah.
looked this up. No, Alone in the Dark, 1%, number 43, the
Is that
worst
by
rated
Uwe Boll? Is that by Uwe Boll?
Uwe Boll.
Yep.
Then you have House of the Dead, number 41, Uwe Boll.
Oh no,
Number 40, In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, Uwe
Uwe
Boll.
Boll. Yeah.
39, Blood Rain, Uwe
Oh,
Boll. Let's see, and then 37,
Postal.
Uwe Boll.
Who? What movie was that? What game was that?
That was Postal, yeah, number 37,
That was
Uwe
a
Boll.
bad movie.
Well,
They did
yeah.
two of those movies. I think they did two of those Postal
I'm
movies.
trying to see on this list if there's any other that he has done, but it seems like he's got a pretty good track record for horrible fucking movies. You would
Yeah.
think that like if you're gonna hire someone to like make a movie, like to be the director of
About
said
your
movie,
video game.
right? You would think to look at their track record and be like, he's made 7 of the worst video game movies ever. I think we can trust him for number 8.
And he's been
Like,
very. He's, I guess, a very shitty human being. A very shitty person. So, yeah, Uwe Boll's a turd. And the movies he makes are turds. Is there any, what's number one on your list?
I'm looking right now. Surprisingly, the number 1 rated video game movie,
Yes.
according to Rotten Tomatoes
Okay.
and the site,
Which I do trust Rotten Tomatoes.
uh, the Angry Birds movie 2
Angry.
at 73%.
Where's
users for
Sonic on
Rotten
that list?
Tomatoes.
'Cause
Sonic or Pokemon Detective Pikachu comes in at number 2, and then
what?
at a 69% tomato rating, and Sonic the Hedgehog comes in at number 3 with a 64%.
What the fuck ever? What the fuck ever? That's bullshit. That's
So
fine.
Angry Birds 2 movie or Angry Birds movie 2 is the
Better
dungeon.
than Detective Pikachu and Sonic.
I don't know. I did see. I'm not gonna lie. I did see the first Angry Birds movie
Yeah.
on TV.
Were you stoned?
I wasn't. It
You
was just
should be
kind of
then.
like it was like middle of the day. I was just kind of watching it. It's just something that was on type of deal. This was like a couple of years ago now at this point, but I
Yeah.
remember watching it and just like sitting on my phone, and I was like, "This isn't a horrible movie."
I've heard they're not, and that's
They're
fine.
but they're at the same time though, there is nothing exemplary about them, right? There's nothing that makes them stand out. It's like you watch it once, you're like, "Oh yeah, that was a decent movie. I got a couple of chuckles at it. Oh, it was a good story. Happy ending, blah blah blah." But
Yeah,
that's it,
yeah.
right? Nothing memorable stands out to you. You want me to
Right.
like if you want me to like recite to you anything from the Angry Birds movie, I can't do it,
No, I
right?
can't. I couldn't. No.
No, not at all. Like I don't know.
Well, the last movie I do want to talk about, because this movie is also very split down the middle,
Hmm.
Silent Hill, which I know they made a sequel to, correct? If I'm not mistaken. But I know the first Silent Hill movie was met with very good uh not criticism. It was met well with people. Like people enjoyed it.
Right.
If I do believe, if I'm correct on that, I enjoyed it much like I enjoyed the Resident Evil movie, the first one. Um, so it shows that Hollywood can get things right, and I don't want to use Silent Hill or Resident Evil really to say that, but that's where I wanted to end off on our movies at our video games list. It shows that they can get it right when they want to. It feels like, or when given to the proper director.
Hmm.
But it's like, dude, like again, like for the fourth time, you have source material. You have these characters who are already fleshed out. They're ready for you to make into movies. They are fucking ready.
Yeah.
Just go with it, right? So like so another topic I did want to talk about before we go into any other topic that is pertaining to this, because it is kind of a deep episode, uh, was movies that we would like to see.
Okay.
So for me, and I'm sure people will be like, "Why the fuck do you want to see that?" But I would like to see a Half Life movie,
Okay.
and I
Well,
have a
yeah.
few. I have a few other on my list, but I would like to see a Half Life movie, and it doesn't like I would obviously like it to be about Gordon Freeman to a sense, but as a silent protagonist, that doesn't work. So
Hmm.
you could realistically make that movie work with the Resistance
Yeah.
in City 17. You can make it work 100%,
Easily.
or at least a series, right?
Hmm.
Where you see Gordon at least. That'd be fucking sick. You at least see Gordon. You know he's there in the universe, and it's just it revolves on the Resistance against the Combine. That'd be fucking dope.
That could be pretty cool.
There's I know
It,
there's been scripts. I know there's been scripts made, and
hmm.
they've all Gabe Newell has the final say. So you know it's gonna be like, nope, not doing that.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
That's,
Nope. Nope.
unless it's perfect, it's not gonna get made. Which is
Hmm.
fine. That's totally cool. I get it. I would like to see it done in the right hands. Um, another movie. I'll make this quick for me. Metal Gear, I think would be great.
Could be cool. Is
Um,
Metal Gear has some really crazy lore though that could really throw a loop in some viewer's experience.
which I agree with, but I feel like again, that's one of those things where it could be either a great movie or a great series.
Hmm. I could
Um,
see it. I could definitely see it as a series, right? Like a
yeah,
Netflix or an HBO, right? Because that allows you time to really delve into this weird, interesting lore where every villain is like a brother of each other and
dude, it's
everything. It's just
insanity.
right. That's when that's as a series format, Metal Gear would work because then you have the option to have all of these crazy plot twists, cliffhanger endings that then lead into the next episode of the next series or whatever, or the next season, I should say.
It'd be fucking sick.
Whereas if you don't do that, or if you try to do that as a movie, they're going to be like, No.
It would feel really condensed, I think,
Hmm.
as a movie, but as a series, I feel like it'd be great. Um, another
I,
couple. What's up?
I was going to interject with a couple.
Oh
One that
yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
I had already brought up, Dark Souls. Dark Souls would be a cool movie that you could do, right?
Absolutely, you could do Dark Souls movie.
With that whole Groundhog Day concept of you show them dying, you show them constantly getting fucking beaten and tortured and waking up and having to do it all over again. And, you just keep coming back at this bonfire, and your guy's like, "Why the fuck am I still here?" Um,
That'd be fucking awesome.
I would I would also love to see a Shadow of the Colossus movie,
I was gonna
right?
bring that up. Yeah,
It doesn't need to be like a full, kill 16 of them, right? You can easily condense that into killing three big baddies or whatever, right? You take like three of the coolest ones and then, you kind of base the movie around that with a little bit of downtime explaining lore and stuff like that in between the battles, but you'd be able to see them getting hurt and battered and torn and still continuing on to try to finish their thing while they're battling these massive fucking things that you can really put that to scale, especially with CGI nowadays. Like you can be behind the character's shoulders looking up at this thing like, holy fuck, he has to fight that.
Exactly, and I think that would be awesome to have to watch a character like Wander portrayed in a movie.
Hmm.
Be like, oh my fucking god, how?
Yeah,
And then
like
like
what am I doing here?
that each colossi is an easy 20-30 minute fight.
You could
Easy.
easily do that. Oh yeah, showing them just getting their fucking ass beat for like 10 minutes as they try to figure out like how to get the upper hand.
With a hard PG-13. It doesn't have to be R.
It
That's
no,
a
it
movie that
definitely
does
doesn't
not
need to
have to
be.
be an R, but it's a hard PG-13.
Oh, definitely, right? Because you still need the action, you still need a little bit of the blood and violence going on, but it doesn't need to be overdone,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
It's a very simple story of like, hey, kill these big ass monsters to bring back whoever this person is. Like Hollywood will probably make it like, this is the love of your life. This is your wife who died. Like, yeah, that's fine. You
That's
can go with
fine.
that,
Yeah, let's
right?
keep going on with these colossi though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other games you were thinking of?
Now you can spit off a couple while I brainstorm.
I think Mega Man, sorry, would be sweet. I got bad allergies right now. I ain't got no COVID, I promise. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Me-
Sure. Staying away from this thing.
Stay. He already fucking miles away. Um, Mega Man would be pretty cool as a
Okay.
movie or a series. I think
That could be cool. I never really was too big into Mega Man, so like I wouldn't care too much, but
it would be a cool. They wouldn't ever do it, but as like an R-rated film, it'd be a cool body horror film.
okay.
Like think about like obviously they would make Mega Man kid friendly, like
Yeah.
Sonic. With how well Sonic just did, they're gonna do a Mega Man movie, I guarantee. But if you made like an adult Mega Man where it's like dude is literally like RoboCopped in the first fucking 2 minutes of the movie where he's just blasted away, and like he's now fucking half like half machine, half human, and it's just strict body horror where it's
Mhm.
grotesque. He's trying to like make his body actually work,
Yeah.
but in disgusting ways. Perfect for like an R-rated film, but it will also work perfectly as a kid film or young adult film, I would say, because I would watch a Mega Man film in a minute, adult or not adult.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I think
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Zelda would be great. Again, Link is he's a silent protagonist, as much as Gordon Freeman is,
Mhm.
but I feel like it could be a very fun series to work with.
Especially if you
Um,
play off of that like silent protagonist thing. Like you
yes,
show him talking to someone and they're like, "Oh my god, Link, I'm so glad you're here. We need you to take care of this. The princess is in danger. We need you to go here and you need you to do that." And he's just like, and they're just like, "What, you're not going to fucking talk? Like are you going to help us? Like what you're just standing there."
I feel like you'd have to break the mute curse of Link at that point. So
Yeah.
like they did do a Zelda animated series, which we could talk about in a
Oh,
little
did they?
bit. Yeah, we'll talk about that in things that already exist for series wise. Um, which that's another fucking subtopic we got before we get to the end of this. There's two more subtopics. So, um, it'd be very cool to see Link broken of his mute curse, which is not like I don't know if it's lore or not, but Link is a silent protagonist again, much as Gordon Freeman is.
Mhm.
But you can make Zelda a hard PG-13, easy. Easy, you make that a fucking horror film as well.
Yeah.
You can make that a fucking horror adventure film in a heartbeat. Especially like if you played off of Majora's Mask a little bit,
Mhm.
where Link throws a mask on and he fucking morphs into like a Deku or a Goron or anything like that. It gets pretty gross in Majora's Mask. So there's a lot you could do with a Zelda movie, I think, given the lore you have.
Yeah.
Um,
There's plenty of Zelda games. There's a lot of source material.
yeah. And then my last movie, there's plenty of other games I'd like to see made, but I'm not gonna rattle them off.
Right,
But
just a couple of examples.
a good example I would say is GTA, a very good crime movie like that.
Okay.
GTA
You
3 had a fucking very Hollywood plot, mafia Hollywood plot to it.
Mhm.
And I feel like if you introduced characters like Claude which is my dad's name as well, and he looks like my fucking dad. He does the same shit my dad does.
I mean,
Um,
GTA 4, like, your likeness is pretty much the character, so
Nico
you should
Bellic is
be
basically fucking my cousin. Um,
yeah, so you should be able to sue for likeness rights.
I should. I wish I could, but I can't because I don't have the lawyers that Rockstar has. But there's a lot what you could do with Nico Bellic or Claude or Tommy Vercetti, any of the GTA characters. I think that there's a lot they could do in a series. An HBO series of GTA would be fucking insanely awesome.
It could be good. I can see what you're saying. I mean, I don't really know because it's such like a sandbox, do whatever the fuck you want style of game.
Right, but you
It,
still have a path you should go down.
you do, yeah, but I mean, the main stories of GTA games are always a little less than stellar,
Yeah.
right? No one cares about the main story of GTA. Everyone cares about being able to fucking mod it so you're the Hulk smashing 1,000 cars a second,
If you're on
right?
PC.
Yeah. If you're on console, you're shit out of luck. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, I think GTA as a series could be very cool.
It could be. I could definitely see it as a series, right? And you follow this guy as he just starts getting in as a fucking as just a foot soldier for a mob, and he starts working his way up, and he's running those mundane tasks, working himself up until he gets into like the real heavy shit where he's like one of the top dogs,
Well, for me, I think Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4 resonated well with me. And I'm not going to go too deep into it because it's not my place to. But for my family to come from a foreign country like Romania
Hmm.
and have to do certain things that they don't necessarily want to do and rise up in this country because of those things, I like that. That really hit home to me.
Yeah,
And it would feel very Sopranos esque for a series to watch somebody like it doesn't have to be Nico Bellic, it doesn't have to be Claude, but
no,
like to see characters like that come off the boat, and that's a real thing, to come off the boat into this country and have to work their ass off to do things they don't necessarily want to do to become like, hey, don't fuck with that guy because that guy will fuck you up.
yeah,
That guy's got connections. How? He just got to this country. He just does. Like, that's fucking sick. But again, that's also, for me personally, it strikes a chord, right? So I sound a bit biased, but I still feel like that Sopranos esque feel of it really would resonate with today's audiences. And I think with the Grand Theft Auto name itself, people would be like, holy fuck, they made an HBO. HBO would be the perfect home for Grand Theft Auto.
hmm,
There's so much you can get away with. You can get with anything you want.
yeah.
Anything. Any visual thing you want to get away with, you get away with it.
Oh yeah, it's a subscription. Like, you don't have to worry about like censoring and shit
Yep.
like that. Um, it is interesting that you brought up Sopranos because when you brought up GTA, that was the first thing that I had thought of. Right, was like a Soprano-esque style show set
Yep.
in the GTA universe, preferably in like Liberty City or
San
drawing.
Andreas.
Thank you.
Liberty City, I think, would be the perfect spot for it.
Because Liberty City has that like '80s vibe, sort of, right?
For me,
Like
it's 90s. I feel 90s.
I could see '90s.
Grungy, fucking dirty era.
I mean, I think it's like with when playing something like Vice City, you know,
Vice City
it,
was 70s.
was it 70s?
Yeah, Vice City was 70s in Florida.
Okay. Um, I'm just thinking of it as like, probably around like this the 70s, 80s era, probably
So
around
that's
the
what you would rather see then.
That's not what I would rather see. That's the first thing that comes into my head.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the first thing that I immediately think of as like, okay, GTA, take it back into a time that's still sort of modern, but where you have these big mobs that are still quite present in society, where they're not as relevant today as I would say they were 40, 50 years ago, right? Like
I would
it's
say,
not
honestly, I would say closer to 20 years ago, the 90s were still a very big time for the mafia.
I'm not sure. I'm not a fucking mob expert, you know? That's your family, not mine.
Oh, oh boy, that's a joke. Good thing is I was being recorded visually as well, and my face turned fucking beet red. Anyways, you stupid blonde prick.
I'm not. It was a joke. Don't take it so personal. God
I
damn.
didn't. I didn't. For me,
For me, that's what I thought of. That's
okay,
where
okay,
so
okay,
you could definitely go different air. You could definitely go different ways with it, but that is what I think of is like an '80s style like mobster,
okay. For
set
if
in like that Liberty City, or you could do it in something like um Los Santos or San Andreas, where it's a little bit more modernized, and you have not so much of like a I would say like a hood or I wouldn't say like a mobster feel, but more of like a gangster, right? Like an inner city gangster, like gang type of feel.
yeah, but you could do that in New York too, though.
Oh no,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
because
I'm
you
just
can
saying
you
something that like resembles something like that, like Los Santos would kind of resemble like New York or whatever.
yeah. For me, I would say I would like to see more of a late '90s, early 2000s feel, where it's you got it's in Liberty City where it's your boroughs, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
got like Brooklyn, Manhattan, Brooklyn. What is it?
Brooklyn,
Harlem.
Manhattan, Harlem.
We're from Michigan, dude. I don't know. Anyways,
I've been to New York once.
yeah, once we got pizza and we got back in the van in Times Square. It was sweet. Um,
It wasn't sweet. We had to drive a 15 passenger van through Times Square.
it was fucking sick. We
It
saw
wasn't sick.
whatever. Anyways,
Well, as the one who was driving, it was not sick. Traffic was stressing me out.
yeah, and then you got people just jumping out of the van to go to a pizza shop. You're like, what the fuck? Anyways, um, for me, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see late '90s, early 2000s gang, mafia gang shit,
Okay.
and I feel like that's where the real grittiness really got to where it was.
Hmm.
Like as with violence, the country was in turmoil at that point, more turmoil than it already was, and in a GTA sense, like the characters you could portray, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Even like we've been debating about GTA now for quite a minute on this episode. That just shows you that the power that this name has with the if you associate with a series, there's so much you could do. There's so
Oh,
much you could do.
definitely.
Um, those are the movies, more so series, really. Now
Hmm.
that we actually are talking about it, I can see a lot of those becoming series. There's not like many I think video games thrive when it comes to series.
When you're able to actually explore the lore and the depth that
Yes,
makes the game what it is and so popular.
exactly. And
Right.
that's my list for that. Did you have anything else you really wanted to add?
I know that there's more than a few games that I would like to see as movies, but I am sort of blanking right now. I'm actually kind of caught up in this idea of like majority of these movies that we keep talking about, like these movies based on games that we would like to see, all of them seem to stem from some sort of RPG or action RPG
They do.
style game,
Yeah.
right? And as we're talking about it, I'm just sitting here boggling my brain, like, how could they reliably or how could they successfully pull off a movie about like a first person shooter?
So like Call of Duty,
Right. And I'm just thinking about it and like how could actually get away with it to be
a Call of Duty
still
film.
right. Like I'm just thinking about like, having to have like the main actors with like fucking GoPros on their heads so that way they can get that fucking first person field of view in to make it feel like it's that type of game.
But then you fall for the Doom curse because in the Doom movie they do a first person, which I
Right.
actually enjoyed, but it's not cinematically pleasant. It's not.
No,
It looks
no.
like shit. But
Yeah.
I had fun with it because I'm a Doom fan. I was like, okay, that's cool. Oh wait, you're just giving this to me because that's what you know I wanted to see.
Mhm.
Because your movie sucks.
Yep.
Um, no,
So
with a movie like, and I know they're trying to do Call of Duty. They are.
are they?
Yeah, this is also going to be one of the subtopics we're going to talk about, which we can go into this next before we go into the next one. Um, they are trying, but I feel like with a movie like Call of Duty or let's say a Ghost Recon, You
Right.
fall for any. It goes on another military movie, in my opinion. You could literally go, this is a Call of Duty movie, but you could also go, this movie's called Marine in the Field,
Right, or
and
Hyena Road or whatever, like
it would be like, okay, cool,
yeah.
you cool, I guess,
Right.
because it just falls under that military shooter movie
Mhm.
that comes out every year. But now you gave it a Call of Duty name, and you put Call of Duty characters in it.
I think I'm trying to think. So I could see there's not too many games that I could see like as a FPS, like a first person shooter that could really work out as a movie,
Yeah.
especially in terms of like a competitive shooter. But I could see, in fact, a Rainbow Six Siege movie, right?
Okay.
Now,
I'm
now, now,
listening.
hear me out. Yeah, hear
I
me
am.
out
I'm
on this.
listening.
So essentially, the idea of the game is that you have all of these operators in this program and they are kind of testing against each other, right? And
Yeah.
that's where I mean, technically they're all friendlies, they're all on the same team, yet you're fighting against each other. It's supposed to be like a training based scenario.
Yeah.
Movie comes along, now they have to put that into action. So now you get to actually see all of these characters or all of the operators from Rainbow Six Siege, or at least a good majority of them, actually showcasing what they could potentially do in a real life battle scenario, right? It doesn't need to just be like five people, but you could just limit it to like five people, right? Like, hey, you five people, you, and you're gonna go into this compound, you're gonna infiltrate it, you gotta extract, the valuable intel or the fucking prisoner of war or whatever. It doesn't matter. But then you get to actually see them using their gadgets in a real life battle scenario, right? You have you have Ash who's breaking open the side of a building with her breach charge, while you have Ying throwing in these super bright flashbangs, and you have Thermite who's opening up this like massive fucking brick wall with his thermite or exothermic charge. Right? You get to actually see them doing it, and you actually get to see like their training and the so-called game battling play out in a real tactical scenario. So I could see that possibly
That
working.
that could be cool. I think that could be cool.
Hmm.
But a game I think would be better suited for film,
Hmm.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
like, he's silent. Where are we going? Splinter Cell. That's a perfect example of a movie that is based off a shooter game.
Hmm.
That could be,
Where, sorry.
yeah. Go on. No,
Oh, I was gonna
you
say
no, no, no.
where
You go. You go. You go.
where it is not ruined by the whole challenge of like trying to be first person or third person. It's already set as a third person, so seeing the back of Sam Fisher as he's climbing along walls or something like that, and it not being in a first
You're
person view,
accustomed to that.
you're already accustomed to that, especially with that iconic three nod, the green three nod night vision.
Yeah.
You just like it doesn't matter who fucking
And
plays
as
it
soon as
as
that
long as
noise hits,
yeah the or
your
whatever.
your fucking dick is hard.
Hmm. And I could totally see that as like he's stuck behind enemy lines in this hostile foreign country,
Yep.
and he's got almost like Owen Wilson's Behind Enemy Lines, right? He's stuck behind enemy
Yep.
lines, and Sam Fisher has to do some Splinter Cell shit to make it out
Exactly.
alive. And
Exactly.
then it's just you following his journey of like making it to safety while he's constantly like evading like 40 plus size foot patrols and taking
Yep.
out enemies in non-lethal manners to like maintain a super low profile.
You could do that with the
So
Hitman
on
movie
board.
too, where a fucking hit goes wrong for 47.
Hmm.
You're tasked with taking out the president of, like, let's say Venezuela.
Because
'Cause
fuck
for
Venezuela.
I have no problem with Venezuela. That's Matt's thing, dude. I don't know where this came from. Anyways, you're tasked with doing that, and for it goes wrong, and 47 is stuck.
Hmm.
I don't, obviously in the first 10 minutes, I want to see 47 taking motherfuckers out.
Oh yeah, no, you have like setups of like 1, 2 scenarios where he's fucking buttery smooth, right?
It's
And
fucking 47, dude.
everything goes exactly according to plan. Another thing with those Hitman movies that I didn't like is that they didn't do too much of the what's it called? The
Diana?
No, not Diana.
or the agency.
Not that either. I'm talking about they didn't do enough of like him camouflaging himself, right?
No, he didn't do disguising.
Thank you. Disguise. That's the word I was looking for. He did. He hardly did it. I think there was like one scene where they show him leaving like a police station. I don't remember if it was the newest one or the first
I
one that
don't
they fucked up.
know. They're both
Regardless,
shite.
I remember a scene where he's like he gets into like a police uniform and he walks off, but you still see the barcode on the back of his head
Which
type
is
of deal.
perfect because that's what happens in the
Right.
video games.
And that was a really cool scene. I was like, fuck yeah, there we go. And then it never comes back. And it's just him in a tuxedo again, just fucking not taking the silent or methodical approach, and he just goes into a place with zero intel and just fucking goes in guns blazing. Like, no,
That's
that's
not
not a hitman.
47. That's
That is
not
not
47.
47, and that is not Sam. That is not Splinter Cell. Sam Fisher. Like,
Exactly. Sam Fisher and 47 are very smart men in video games who they plot it all out, they take it down, and they're out without
yeah,
you even smelling them.
you don't know that it's happened until they're already on their way out.
And you're like,
Right?
holy fuck,
They're
when did
not
this
just
even happen?
Right. They're not just like some guy who's poached up 150 yards away with a sniper who shoots a guy while there's six people around and now everybody understands, hey, there's a fucking issue. Boss just got shot in the fucking head. We got to find this guy, right? I would like to see something more so of like he's camouflaging, he's getting in through these back areas, and then he's silently taking out the boss, and he's gone before they even realize that the
Well, in
boss is dead.
Hitman, how cool would it be? And it would be very, very graphic. And that's what I want to see. To garrote somebody.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
To garrote somebody and fucking be like, okay, shit, I need to change into their clothes. Hopefully it's the right fucking size.
Yeah, he's putting on a suit jacket that's 2 sizes too small,
So he has to
or
determine what he keeps, what he doesn't.
yeah,
And like
or he's
hopefully
he
it
or he's
works.
he's putting on a shirt and you can see little blood stains going down. He's like, "All right, this shirt is trash. I got to find another one on the way
So
out or something
dude,
like that."
it would be fucking awesome to see him do that shit. For Sam Fisher, it'd be awesome to see him do the interrogations and
Mhm.
non-lethally hurt somebody. For Hitman, I want to see lethal.
Yeah, Hitman,
Because
he doesn't give a
47,
shit.
47, he doesn't kill innocent, but at the same time, if you're a part of that, if you're in his way, you're out of the way.
Yeah, if you're
For
holding a
Sam,
gun, you got a target on
it's
your
like
back.
Predator. It's like the Predator. If you have a gun, you're dead. For Sam Fisher, it's like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to keep every civilian safe and go around everything,
Mhm.
which I like. So there's a lot of ways you can do that with Sam Fisher and 47.
Yeah,
And that's all I gotta say about that. I,
same here.
as a
I
viewer, should not have to say this. So, so with that being said, though, where I want to hit next, and these are our last topics of the night, where we're going very long, is I'm gonna hit this one first, which is upcoming films
Okay.
and slash series.
Upcoming. Okay.
Upcoming. Monster Hunter is a
Is
movie that's being
there
made. Yeah,
is it?
buddy. Yeah, Monster Hunter is coming.
I could be
Um,
okay with that.
I feel like that is as close to Shadow of the Colossus as we're gonna get.
Yes, exactly. That was literally what I was about to say. That's probably as close as I'm going to get to a Shadow of the Colossus movie.
So, with that being said, I'm gonna welcome it with open arms.
Mhm.
And if it sucks, oh, my pee pee hurt. That's all I gotta say.
If it sucks, I'm not too worried about it because it's a game based out of Japan.
Exactly. Yeah. Um,
I don't I don't know what that has to do with anything, but whatever.
that's why I said
Makes
exactly.
me makes me as an American feel a little better, I guess. I don't fucking know.
It's being made by Americans, so it shouldn't.
Shut up. We don't need to bring that up, okay?
Another film upcoming. We're gonna kind of go fast through this one so we can get to our next one and then end this fucking long ass episode. Halo is still in production hell. Steven
Yeah, I don't
Spielberg has been wanting to do it for a while now.
I don't see it happening at this point. They've been wanting to do it for like fucking 15 years. They've been trying to do this shit.
There's so much you could do with a Halo movie. There is so much. And
Yeah,
I
you
don't
would
see
think
why you
that
can't.
they would yeah, you would think that they would have figured out by now, you know?
I just don't get it. Like Halo could
I'm sh-
be would Steven Spielberg behind the helm?
You mean, yeah. Anything with
Dude.
Steven Spielberg is already probably going to be a pretty good fucking hit. The man's knows how to make movies. All right.
especially sci-fi.
Hmm.
So that's Halo. That's supposedly upcoming. Gears of War
Gears
is
of War
a
is getting a series.
movie.
It's getting a movie. Okay,
It's
I could.
supposed to be. That's another movie that I believe is in production hell or development hell.
Hmm.
So it's one
I
of those
think it
things.
would. I think it would be production hell for me
Yeah,
too.
it is supposed to be happening, but it's in that weird space where it's like, who do we give this movie to?
Hmm.
So, and I think it'd be very hard for me to see anyone play Marcus Phoenix without that iconic voice.
Hmm.
Dom. Like, I want to hear someone say it like that. I don't want to hear a clean cut voice. I want to hear someone who sounds like they've smoked 4 packs of Marlboro Reds for the last 40 years of their life.
Can
Like,
you
that's what I
imagine?
want to hear.
Can you imagine you're on set to film your lead role, and they're like, "All right, before you start the scene, here's a pack of cigarettes. I need you to smoke them all within 5 minutes." You're just like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
And
Right.
then bam, you get the voice.
Dom. Dom. I'm not I'm done. I'm done trying. Um Uncharted is happening
I can definitely see an Uncharted series or
with
movie or series.
yo, who's playing who plays Spider-Man right now?
Tom Holland.
He's supposed to be Nathan Drake, I believe. So
Yes,
that'll be sick. But
I'm
it's
totally
weird
a
because it's a
thousand percent
very
with you.
young Nathan Drake,
Yeah,
right? At that
but
point.
you
So
can imagine that he is setting himself up to like, hey, this movie works
that's gonna be
good.
that's gonna be fucking like
I got
sequel after
this
sequel.
right. I got this on lockdown for the next four after it. Right.
Exactly, where he starts mature. Yeah. So that'll be
Hmm.
sick.
Because then you
Um
get to see and go along with Nathan Drake as he is maturing and everything like that, as well as Tom Holland who's growing up, and you just yeah.
Absolutely. Another upcoming movie that is happening, which Steve Carell is going to be in, is Minecraft. I think he's playing Tom, or is it Tom? Minecraft Tom? Steve. He's playing Steve.
I don't. I don't.
It's happening, whether you like it or not.
I was excited for a second when you said Steve Carell, and then you said it was a Minecraft movie, and I am just all of my excitement has just tanked away.
Okay,
I don't care about a Minecraft
well
movie.
then, can I make you happy really quick?
Sure, yeah.
HBO did pick up the rights to do a Last of Us series.
Mm, that could be cool as
That
well.
will be good. That will be
That could
sick. Now that due to
Oh yeah,
coronavirus, Last of
they
Us
were
2 is
already
indefinitely
mhm,
postponed.
right. No, I did show that they were trying to cast, and I think that they casted for Joel.
Cool.
I think they casted the guy who plays Jamie Lannister in Game of Thrones. I'm trying to
Really?
think. He's in a couple other movies. When you see him and he's got a little bit of scruff and he's not like super clean shaven like in Game of Thrones, when he's got a beard
Yeah.
and he fits it perfectly. He definitely he matches it enough to where you're like, okay, I that is believable. You look enough like the character for me to be okay with it. But then he also has a very strong back like acting career, right? You
Yeah.
know that he's a strong actor. He has showcased that. And so I think that he actually is a very good choice for that role.
You know what I think could be cool?
What?
Did you watch you've watched Stranger Things, right?
Yeah. I haven't watched the
Harper.
third season
Harper. David Harbour.
as Joel. I could see that.
He played Hellboy. He
He
did
did.
he did I don't give a fuck to sidetrack.
He did a good job. The rest of the movie did not do a good job.
Yeah, it was very all over the
He did.
place, unfortunately, but it was
Yeah.
still a good movie.
Uh yeah.
Whatever.
I was a little upset with that
He's
movie, especially
he's a
since
great Hellboy. He looks fantastic in that makeup.
yes. Once again, I'm not I'm it's nothing to do with him as Hellboy. It's the rest of the movie was bad.
Yeah, it was weird. It was all
Like
over
the
the place.
most exciting part of that movie was when everything started to get fucking destroyed, and you're like,
Yes.
"Yes, it's finally happening." They're like, "No, it's just a little like it's whatever."
It's
And I'm like,
weird. The movie
"No."
it was paced really weird. Um so yeah, that's the upcomings that I've personally just put in here just to be like, hey, this is kind of happening, and
Hopefully,
we don't have to get too much further into it because I'm not going to be a part of speculation because then that puts us in a weird spot when it's not happening. Um, so with that being said, this another series another topic we're gonna kind of bulldoze through, but TV series,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously to me, the shining orb for video game TV series right now, in my opinion, is The Witcher.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it.
Even though it is based on the book, you can still look at The Witcher series and go, yeah, that's great, but it's still reflected positively on the Witcher game series as
You
well.
can, as someone who played the games, not all of the games, but I played a bit of 2 and I played all of
You did
3.
beat 3.
I put like 100 and something hours into 3. It's fucking phenomenal. Um I can see, as someone who is familiar with the games and not the books, that there was more than enough to where I, one, understood everything, and two, there was more than enough nods to the game that I was like, "Hey, oh, yeah, I see what you did there. I see what you fucking did."
Well, exactly. And I cannot wait
So
for season 2.
yeah, I both love and hate how Netflix does it, because you get everything at once, right? You don't have to wait week for week to
It
watch
makes the
the
wait
next.
longer. It
Yeah,
sucks.
but then you binge watch the entire thing in one day,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Okay, now I have 10 months because I didn't stretch this out over, 4 months like I should have."
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah,
then okay. With that being said, the next series that comes out before season 2 is an animated Vesemir series to introduce
really?
Vesemir into season 2. Yep.
Hmm,
Yep.
interesting.
So the
Okay.
next series is going to be animated, which is cool because Castlevania, which I forgot to bring up, well, which actually I'm about to bring up, was animated, and they're going to be bringing Vesemir. So, spoiler alert! I am so sorry. Into season 2, that's dope.
It's weird that they have to do a separate series just to introduce him, right?
I think they're just trying to give backstory because they didn't do enough backstory for Vesemir, which they should have, in my opinion, because he's a very vital character.
He is, but I can understand there not being much backstory to a character who hasn't been introduced yet, right? Unless
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
unless it's like a villain where it has that like overarching, you know, theme across the entire series. I don't see it as being too important to where you need its own series to give them backstory. It's cool that it is happening, but at the same
They're
time,
trying to milk that cash cow, dude.
yeah, but you could just kind of throw him into the first episode or 2 of season 2,
It's literally
and
Uncle
you give
Vesemir.
him, yeah, and you give him a little bit of exposition, right?
It's literally
I'm
Uncle Vesemir. That's it.
I mean, I'm don't get me wrong, I am not complaining. Any more of The Witcher that I get to see, I am 100% okay with. It just seems to me like a very strange business decision.
Well,
But it could be something that works out, and I hope it does
you know
for
how
their
that feels to
future.
me. It feels very Black Sails, Watchmen. So
Mhm.
you had Watchmen, and then you also had Black Sails to add the little exposition into what that child was reading at the newsstand. I like that, and I think that's what they're gonna do.
Wait. Black Sails is in. I remember that from the Watchmen comics. Does that have its own series or
Yep,
something, or
yep. So if you buy the collector edition,
that's on Stars?
no.
No.
So if you
Okay.
buy the collector's edition of Watchmen DVD, you get the Black Sails animated series as well,
Oh, okay.
which
Okay.
they did for it wasn't in the movie, but it's like a bonus feature.
I'm thinking of. I was thinking of. I think there's a
It's
show.
Black Sails, right? That's what it's called.
I think it was. I know that there's a show on like Stars,
Black
or
Freighter.
that's what it was. Okay.
Tales of the Black Freighter. Yep.
Okay. So you said Black Sails, and there is a show called
It's called
Black
Black
Sails.
Sails. Yeah, this is
Right,
the Black
and
Freighter.
that's why I was like, "Holy shit!" You're telling me that that entire series is a fucking pre-exposition to this series? Like, that's
Wouldn't
insane.
that be something?
That would be a fucking that would be like fucking next level thinking, right? That's sort of like um Marvel with their 10-year fucking plan of the Marvel Cinematic
Yeah,
Universe. For
yeah.
you to be like, "Hey, we got 4 fucking series coming out, and all of them interconnect, but all of them are separate. Deal with that shit." And you're just like, "Oh, I can't keep
Yes,
up with
sir.
this."
Yeah, Black
Sir,
Freighter.
please.
That's how that feels to me, though.
Yeah.
Because here's Vesemir, here's this, and that. Here's 8 episodes. Boom, Witcher fucking season 2.
Now, here's the thing, though, is that if and when he comes into
I still want a
season
proper
two,
introduction.
right? He needs one a proper introduction because it's fucking Uncle
It's
Vesemir,
fucking Vesemir, yeah.
but two, how do you go about introducing that character, having already done in a series on it? Do you continue to give exposition for those who didn't watch it, which makes that series completely irrelevant? Or do you just
Yeah.
ignore it and then everyone who didn't watch that series is now fucked over? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
I
Why is he so
feel
important?
I feel as if they would add a small section for introduction, and they would
Hmm.
add exposition for him. I feel like that's what they would do. But if you liked season 1, you will still watch that, though.
Oh no, definitely. I'm not. I'm like I said. I'm not arguing against it. It's just to me, it just seems a little weird.
Right, but let's
Um.
think about it like this: when Witcher season 1 came out, they were in a panic to reissue the books.
Hmm.
You couldn't get the books anywhere. You couldn't get anything. Witcher, you couldn't get it. With that being said, what I'm trying to say is people are gonna fucking watch Vesemir. They're gonna watch Witcher Vesemir prior to season 2. That way they're hooked on their knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna do well, but I think some people may not watch it, and if that's the case, they need to they need to be prepared to make exposition readily available for that character for
Hmm.
season 2.
Right.
They need to have an episode dedicated to Vesemir, 100%. Be like, so you're gonna introduce him, but you still need to have that introduction episode where it's like, just in case you didn't watch, this is who Vesemir is,
Right.
because he's a very important character.
Yes. No. He definitely is. And so and that's what I was bringing up was, do you still do that exposition episode?
Have to.
Right. So you do, but then that kind of takes
It
away from
negates
like
it.
why you need to see the animated series, right?
Right. It's an excuse for them
It's
to
that
make more
tug of
money off
war.
Witcher.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna milk that fucking series dry until we hate it.
Which will be 9 seasons, 6
Yeah,
seasons.
we'll have to see. We'll have
How long did everyone love Game of Thrones for?
around 6 seasons,
There
and that's
you go.
when it
So we got
really
6
started.
seasons.
6 seasons. It was like, okay, episode like this is like the peak was at like season 5, and it started to dip a little bit for season 6, and then 7, and you're like, okay, but it's gonna come right back up for a fucking excellent finish in season. And no, it just
Yeah, it nosedived.
yeah.
Anyways, so that's The Witcher. Other TV series, we can't keep doing that about The Witcher because it'll be another hour of episode.
And we
Others,
already did an episode on it.
right? We
Yeah.
did. So go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Other series that came out has in animated form has been Sonic. Sonic did
Hmm.
come out in animated form, which was a very strange time for Disney.
Sonic character, yeah.
Yeah, Mega Man did come out, which I remember watching that. Mortal Kombat came out animated wise, which we talked about that earlier.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun. It was on like
I didn't.
WB, shit like
Okay.
that.
I didn't
It
know
was.
about it. I didn't know about the animated Mortal
We'll
Kombat.
get fucking drunk and you'll get high and we'll watch it together and you'll be like, wow, this is bad. Um, the last animated series I didn't want to talk about was Castlevania
Okay.
from Netflix.
Hmm. That is something I have not seen.
So Netflix keeps hitting. It seems like Netflix is really trying to corner the market for video game adaptations,
Hmm.
and they're doing well. So I believe Castlevania is on its 3rd season. I could be wrong, but I believe it's doing as well as its 3rd season. As well as its 3rd season. That's saying a lot
Hmm.
for a video game adaptation. So Castlevania is also in anime form, which is great for people like you and I. It means we can get into it. And it's just awesome to see that like shows like games like Castlevania are getting starlight like that, because that it opens up the floodgates for more games like that. Like, it'd be sweet to see a Final Fantasy animated series. It really would
Mhm,
be. It'd be sweet. There's a lot you could do. So that's where I want to leave off is to say, listen, there's a lot of games you're making in the series that are great, i.e., Witcher and Castlevania. So why not keep producing shit like that?
mhm. See,
Th-
I love Netflix because they are it sort of feels like they kind of took the flaming torch from everyone else. It was like, "Don't worry, guys. We're going to give you the content that you wanted, right? We're going to take the shit that was terrible and we're going to fix it for you." And so I love Netflix for that, especially cuz like I have to love Netflix because they're redoing the last Airbender in live action, and
That's gonna be sweet.
I will literally hang myself if that is terrible.
Well, it seems like we'll
Because
go.
I
Let me
cannot go
let's
through
go back to that.
another disappointment like
Let's
that.
go back to that. We will go back to that before this episode ends. It feels to me as Netflix is going, we are willing to take those risks.
Hmm.
Again, The Witcher, Castlevania. They took risks and they succeeded because they did it right. They made
Yeah,
sure their writers, producers, directors, and actors were on the same page. The Witcher had Henry Cavill going, I'm going to portray the best version of Geralt of Rivia I can. And he did.
fantastic job. Yep.
So, all that mushed together, you got greatness. Now, let's hope Netflix can keep doing it because now HBO is seeing that money and going, oh, fuck. Why didn't we buy Witcher? Now they got Last of Us.
Hmm.
So now Netflix got to bump up for Witcher 2. It's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. It's like the comic book series.
Yeah.
Comic books started as shit movie wise. Now they're great.
Hmm.
Like
Once they realize how to actually properly portray video game
exactly,
characters and storylines in movies, then it will start to be a lucrative business.
exactly.
I am interested. Is there any flops that you think Netflix could take over and redo? What do you think would fit Netflix's agenda to redo as a terrible flop and make it better?
It's not so much a terrible flop, but I think Netflix could do a couple series, right? I feel
Mhm.
like they could do a really good Tomb Raider series,
Okay,
a
yep, yep.
very good Tomb hard mature audience Tomb Raider series.
You could sort of lump in Uncharted with that as well,
You
right?
could.
They're sort of in the same esque of like that
I'm
action
more I'm
adventure
more interested in Laura Croft though.
because
Because I
it's
want to
triangle
see
titties.
no, yes, but no. I want to see more badass chicks.
Oh yes, yes.
I want to see more badass chicks kicking ass. There's enough dudes out there kicking ass. I don't need more fucking testosterone. I need more chicks kicking ass. So Laura Croft owning her sexuality, kicking ass at the same time, that's that's awesome for me.
Hmm.
As well as Resident Evil. I feel like that would be a great Netflix special a series.
Hmm.
Uh I'm trying to think of what else, really. You could do a Halo. It doesn't have to be fucking Hollywood. Halo could be Netflix 100%. It
I
could.
would love to see Netflix do a proper take on the Hitman series,
I feel like that would
either
be
as a
fantastic. Good call.
movie or so like you set it up and you just do it as a movie, right? You just give everyone what they wanted instead,
Yeah, yeah.
which is fine. Or you take up that Hitman um, license and you make a series out of it. And then you get like real in depth and you get to have all of these convoluted plot twists and plot lines that really interfere with Agent 47 and how he's going to continue his business for what is to come and everything like that.
For instance, add in a child. Agent 47 has to kill a child as a hit. That's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole fucking thing.
Because that puts his morality to the test. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll kill anyone or anything. But a child, on the other hand, is a different story. If you're
But it
talking
adds
like
a whole
like a
dynamic.
preteen kid, yeah.
Oh. I exactly. You hit it right on the head. I feel like companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime,
Hmm.
which fuck you, Jeff Bezos, you're a piece of shit. Um,
True.
Hulu. I feel like a lot of these companies really could make things like that if they really understood the source material, understood their characters that they're trying to sell, which I feel like Netflix does with characters like Geralt.
Netflix does, yes. The
So
the other platforms not so much.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and I do also want to mention it's not just understanding the characters and the story behind them
it's the
and
world,
like their
right?
lore. Right, well, and the world, but it's also understanding what your audience wants and being able to deliver that to them in an in a good way, I guess. I don't fucking know
In a
where I'm
good
trying to go
fashion
here.
that would really
Right.
keep them coming back, right?
Right, because you can make any sort of video game adaptation where it just kind of, front to back, that's what you get, page for page sort of movie. And people will still watch it and they'll be like, "Okay, yeah, it wasn't bad." But understanding what your video game audience really wants, which is, like I said, from my understanding, building upon the lore and the world building and really investing more time into these universes that we don't get to see in the games, or like you're adding to the value of those games. That's what, from, like I said, my opinion, us video gamers want. Like, I couldn't care less about just another hack and slash movie, right? I want more validity to my game. I want more lore, outreaching lore.
You want depth. I want
Yeah.
depth, and I think that's a good place to stop this episode. Is we want
Yes.
depth. We want depth to our video game adaptations. I want it to be intelligent. I don't want it to be stupid. I want it to be intelligent. I want it to show people who haven't played these video games, hey, this is a very intelligent medium that is underdeveloped in my opinion. It is. It's
Under
underdeveloped.
underappreciated, I would
Underappreciated,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot you're missing out on here.
Mhm.
There's a whole audience that you're missing. You could, if you want to think greedy wise, dude,
Think of the money you can rake in by getting people interested in that game franchise
exactly.
by
Exactly.
watching your stuff. Yeah.
Again, look back at The Witcher before we end this episode. When The Witcher came out, it was impossible to buy the books. You put those books out of print because the series was so good. Do it again.
Yeah.
Do that again. Make me fucking find these video games. Make me buy all the lore and all the fucking merchandise for it again.
Mhm.
Like, just make it happen. You could do this. And again, that's what's up. In my opinion, that's where this episode's going to end.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm pretty much out of things to say.
Tapped out.
You had a lot more subtopics than I had expected.
I think it was a good episode.
It was a good
It was
episode,
fun.
but like we're winding down at like an hour and a half, and I'm like, all right, the episode's about to be over. And Nick's over here like, yeah, we got two more things to fucking touch. Like, God damn it, I want to go to bed, man. Hurry it up.
With that being said, again, everybody, thank you for joining the WASD and Beyond podcast. Again, for another awesome week. We had so much fun doing these episodes. There's a lot of cool Beyond episodes on the pipeline, as well as regular episodes, as well as some cool content we think you're gonna have fun with. Um, I'll end this episode with some shout outs. Please check out our buddies at the Loser Podcast, What the Famicon, the Diggity podcast, Grand Rapids podcast. I did it this time. Check out Espionage merchandise and his podcast, which I'm wearing his Dark Souls T-shirt, and he's in a band called Vatican, which are bad fucking ass. And check out our buddy D Tune, who made our intro.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also on Twitch. And check out our buddy Yo Loader, who's on Twitch, which we will actually be having an interview with on Tomorrow's Wednesday.
It will be tomorrow as of recording, but when you guys hear this episode, it's already gonna have been passed
It'll
over.
already be done. So we'll say
Yeah,
the interview went well.
I
It
hope
went-
so.
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of hard to fuck up an interview with a friend, but you never know. It could easily go south
it could. It could.
real
We could end
quick.
up beating the shit out of this guy. No, Kyle's our good friend, and we're excited to be doing this interview with him tomorrow. So be sure to be on the lookout for that if you haven't seen it already. So that's where I'm gonna leave off. Again, it's been your boy, Nick, Matt. Where are we at here, buddy?
Um, Real quick before I give my shout outs, there's just one last thing I wanted to mention.
Fuck.
Netflix, I'm looking at you. If you fucking disgrace me with if the last Airbender live action series is not a 10 out of 10,
He
I'm
almost
coming
hung
for
himself
you.
in the theaters, guys. I was there with him when we saw it in theaters. He cried almost.
Literally, I have never been more disappointed in my life.
It was
To
bad.
watch
It was
watch
fucking bad.
it wasn't even just that like it was a bad movie. You couldn't even get the names right.
Ong? It's Ang.
It's Egg. It's fucking Egg.
It's Ang. That's it.
Soka? No, it's Sokka.
It's
Like, come
Sokka.
on.
Yeah.
It's not that hard when you have so much source material to just get the names right. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's
No,
why Netflix, I'm looking at you, all right? I'm fucking looking at you. Don't you dare take this from me.
we
You
see
better
your
do it
placement
fucking
page.
right.
We see it. It's there. I tell you, last Airbender, and it's there. Where's that fucking trailer?
They just added that shit movie to Netflix, by the way. Oh,
Oh, why?
I don't know,
All
but
right,
part of me wants to smoke a lot of weed and then just record my watch through of like
dude.
how
Hey,
angry I am.
time out, everybody. Everybody, you heard it. I will get drunk while he gets high, and we'll record it after social distancing's done.
If you want to see something like that, make sure you leave us a comment or hit us up on Twitter. Nick, where can you be found at Twitter? On Twitter, on Twitter,
Twatter.
on Twitter.
You can find me
On
at either Chub Life at Twitter. You can find me at Chub Life Nick. On Instagram, you can find me at flies.avi.
All right, and then you can go ahead and reach me on pretty much every platform: Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter at PBFreak42. And yeah, that's about it.
That's the episode.
So yeah, let's.
Thank God it's over. We love
I know,
you guys.
I gotta pee. Let's get this over with.
All right. Thank you again for tuning in to another week of WASD and Beyond. We will see you next week. And yeah, fucking thank you guys. We love you.
Take it easy, gamers, and stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
Be healthy. Take it easy, guys.
Goodbye.